Hello YouTubers, and welcome to another video. Today I'm very excited to talk to you about some very little speakers. So these are the Kanto Aura. Got them here. Kanto Aura. So these babies here. So let's talk about these. So I'm gonna hold just the one of them so you can see. They look pretty nice. I'll hold both of them. They look pretty nice. I don't know if the camera says it, but they are quite tiny. If I get my mug here, this is my mug. It's a fairly large mug, but it's still a mug. As you can see, they're tiny. They look tiny next to your monitor. So, a few weeks ago, I decided to bring my monitor audio speakers that I've had since 2011, 2012, something like that, over 10 years, upstairs. And then ever since, I've been on a bit of a run to find an amplifier and some speakers and stuff, and I just optimized the sound here. So, but of course I was left without speakers downstairs, so I was like, okay, why not bring the monitor audios back down and get something nice and hopefully something smaller for my desk here, because the monitor audios are quite on the hefty side. Let me see if I can show you my setup here. So there's my monitor audios there. That's the my beloved Audio Lab 6000A, and that's the other speaker there. So this is my current kind of setup. Hopefully this won't be too bad on camera. Yeah, and next to the monitor audios, that's how the Aura, the Kanto Aura look. So fairly smaller. So, and what do I think of these babies here? You know, they've got really high reviews online, and people speak. They're very expensive, right? So for such a small speaker, I think they're ridiculously expensive. They're powered, so they got the power. They feel quality in a way, but they don't feel like quality in some other ways. I think the connections are very nice, and you can tell that there was some thought going into the design of this. They're quite light. So this one is powered. The other one, I guess it's passive. You only got a connection on this one here for the speaker, and the cable is actually quite a nice cable. So the cable is nice. You've got an external power brick, not too large, but it does have an external power brick. It's got a vent here. They look the part. I have to say, I really like the looks of them, but they certainly don't feel like 400 euros, right? So yeah, just a note to that. But you know, you're not going to touch them. It's more important how they sound. And how do they sound? Yes, I think they sound quite good for desktop speakers. You know, like for computer speakers, they sound very clean, very detailed. So nothing wrong there, you know. So as far as computer speakers go, I think these are fantastic, really, 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 really good. But do they compare with you know, a hi-fi system? No, that's the answer. No, even with the subwoofer. I got the subwoofer here. I don't know if I can show you the subwoofer, but just to show you that it's there. So that's the Kanto subwoofer. And if you're going to have these babies and you want to really enjoy music, then for sure you'll have to spend the money on the speakers, and you have to add the subwoofer as well. A good feature that these babies have, and I'm holding the one without the power, is that they have a crossover built in. So as soon as you plug the subwoofer here, then the speakers don't play anything below 100 hertz, and all of that goes onto the subwoofer, which is really good because this is a small diaphragm, so it's not really prepared to cope with the lower frequencies, although it's actually quite good for such a small speaker, I think this speaker is really, really nice. You know, it just doesn't match, you know, like I was probably delusional about that. It doesn't match the monitor audios with a proper stereo amp. It's just not even in the same league, the kind of sound and openness and stuff. But they are, having said that, they are super good. The bass is really nice. I really like that subwoofer. I've tried the subwoofer also with the monitor audios, and the subwoofer I think is quite a good one for music. Yeah, so yeah, and the way that you connect these, of course, you got like the digital input here for USB-C, and you can connect Bluetooth as well. There's a Bluetooth connection, and you got these RCAs. Now, a bit of a shame with these RCAs is that like a lot of these new audio equipment, they have like digital signal processing. So basically, you've got a chip inside which processes the signal to, you know, better take advantage of the drivers and stuff, and to change the sound according to what the manufacturer thinks it should sound like. So it's all very clever, but if you connect anything analog here and you got a nice DAC, like the Mojo, for example, and you want to connect it to here, just bear in mind that it's going to make it into a digital signal and then back into an analog signal inside here. So there's no true analog input here. There's a dial here for the volume, feels good. And then when I first connected them, I was like, my computer's not recognizing it. And then I read the instructions, and you have to cycle through, and there's like this very faint light here that tells you what mode it is. And then eventually I connected it to the laptop, and I was up and away listening to music. Now, my conclusion about this, mixed feelings really. You know, like, if you're expecting this to be a replacement for your hi-fi speakers, that's not going to happen. At least not in my experience. There's no, they're not even in the same league as, you know, the monitor audios and the proper amp and everything. It's just not going to happen. But as computer speakers, this is probably the best computer speakers I've ever heard. You know, they sound really nice. Like, one thing that I've noticed is that if you just lay them on the desk, they sound good. So you have to bring them really right up. And once you do bring them right up, they sound a lot better. Sound more open. The sound is the sound stage is a lot wider, and everything's just like pops. So you have to get some stands, and the Kanto thankfully sells those stands, but that's another 100 euros or whatnot on top, depending on what stand you want. So now you're talking 400 euros plus the 100, 500 plus 300 something for the woofer. Now it's all, you know, almost 1,000 euros for a PC speaker. No, thank you. I don't think so. So yeah, they're really, really good, but they're definitely not worth all that money. And with that money, you can buy some proper hi-fi speakers, or active or passive, and then get an amp. You know, they got a lot of choice with the sort of money that Kanto is asking for these. So although they are very good for what they clearly are very good. If you have the money and you just need to save the space and whatever, and you're not really listening to music in any sort of critical way, but you still appreciate good sound, I think these are for you. If not, if you're more sophisticated and your sound sounds really bad, but if you're more demanding in the sort of the sound you need, because you listen more critically and you're used to that hi-fi kind of a fidelity, then I would probably not get these. So thank you so much for watching. This is a pleasure to be talking to you. Thank you to all my new subscribers. I can see sometimes they're pinging. I don't know how many so far, 200 something. You know, when we get to 300, it'll be a bit of a landmark. So thank you so much for making this possible. I love you. Goodbye.